Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Kenny's Life Thoughts and Retirement. I hope my camera doesn't blow over. All of a sudden, the wind started to pick up. Trying to get a hot fire going because I got a bunch of brush in the back of my Kubota here, and it's pretty wet, so I want to get a good hot fire going. And because when I throw this stuff on there, it's going to smoke like crazy. I want to introduce you to my puppy. I don't know if I've ever officially introduced you to my dog, Gracie. She is a chocolate Labrador. She was born on my birthday, and I believe she's going to be 9 years old this October. She was born on October 24th. Grace, come here, baby. Come here. Come here and say hello. Come here, baby. Hello, baby. She loves being out here, and she's just been the greatest dog. Yeah, you're a good girl, aren't you? We call her the Chocolate Princess. But she, the one thing she does that I don't really appreciate is she likes to roll around in the elk poop. We had elk in here the other day. It looks like from their sign, their tracks, they came in from the brush here and came through the orchard, in between these two buildings over here that you can't see. They're over the camera there, or over that way. And then they ended up eventually they ended up down at the old barn, and I got a couple of quick videos of them. There was 8 cows. Didn't see any bulls, but there was 8 cows down there. But anyway, Grace likes to find where they've left their sign, and she likes to roll in it. It's the one thing I don't like that she does, but there's no breaking her of it. Just let her be a dog. She's just a great puppy, though. She's very loyal, and she's definitely my dog for sure. She does not let me be. Gracie, what you doing, babe? Come here. Hello. I know. What? Find them. Well, find them. Where are the birds? Find them. She's a good natural retriever. She loves birds. She loves everything. She's just a great puppy. Anyway, I'm going to get this fire going today. I burned yesterday. I had another pile of brush up there. It was soaking wet. I had a heck of a time getting it going. So I had to burn. I didn't do what I'm doing here, which I should have. I tried to light this brush pile up there that was soaking wet with some gasoline, and it didn't quite work. So I had to build a makeshift warm fire next to it. Finally got it going. It took me a while, but I spent most of the day up there burning. It was a big pile. It's from that wind blowdown that we had a few months ago. All the limbs and stuff that were all over the place. So, but I was afraid they were going to shut burning season down early this year, which I'd be fine with, other than the fact if I have anything that needs to be burned, I want to get it done now because it'll then have to wait till next fall. But I think they're going to shut it down early this year. It's just, I think Mount Hood, the Cascade Mountain Range is 30% of normal right now, and that's pretty indicative to the rest of the state. So it's really, really low. And that just means water conservation is coming, and of course fires and the suppression of fires, that's going to be a real problem. So I know they're going to shut, I just have this feeling they're going to shut burning down, yard burning like this, or doing brush burning and all that's going to get shut down early. Well, this is going to be smoky when I put this stuff on here. If I can get this thing going hot, it'll be fine. But speaking of dog, where did she go? Grace! Grace! Okay, just stay where I can see you, that's all. That's all I care about. I want to see you. Anyway, I'm going to get this fire going and try to get this brush pile burned. all this stuff. You can't probably see it, I don't know, but there's a bunch of metal and stuff here. That's from, Kathleen spent most of the time burning that, all that stuff I had up there. There was a whole trailer and a half load of burnable stuff. And she's the one that burned most of it. While I was doing other cleanup work. But anyway, there was a old wooden ladder and other stuff, and it had metal in it, like nuts and bolts and screws, and the metal rungs under, that were in the wooden ladder are in there. Anyway, I'll clean that up later. And then I usually clean this all out once a year, depending on how bad it is. But it's a great place to come sit, contemplate life a little bit. Something about a fire that makes a person reflect. I certainly reflect a lot, for sure. At the same time, be thankful. Wind's picking up. Hopefully it doesn't blow my camera over there. I've got my camera sitting on a tripod over there and it's kind of shaking. So if it falls over, don't be surprised. I don't typically like to burn when it's too windy, but it's so wet out here. It rained all night last night. It was raining this morning. And it's cold. Should be fine. That's going to get smoky. Watch me put the fire out. Like I said, this stuff is pretty wet. That's still going in there. It's actually good that the wind's blowing. It'll help keep that fire going. There comes the smoke. This was the last of it that was up at the top of the driveway. It's just a small little pile. The pile I did yesterday took me forever to burn it. Well, it's still smoldering up there, actually, even after it raining all night. Wind keeps shifting. Now it's coming from the northeast. There she's going. She's starting to go here. There she's going. Well, it won't take long to burn this down. I think what I'm going to do is sign off, and I can find my little clicker, which I always seem to forget where I put it. Appreciate your time today. Thanks a lot for watching my videos. And as always, be safe and be well. Well, I got done, 90% done, burning that pile over there. And I decided to come over and finish up my chore I started earlier yesterday, or late yesterday, I guess. When we had, I'll do another separate video on our complete and total transformation of the fireplace area and the chimney, the stone chimney, all that stuff that was redone, rebuilt. And in the process, I had put a wood stove in there kind of as a temporary deal, but it was a kind of wood stove that I didn't have any control over the burn, and it was go or not go. I mean, it was blaring all the time, and so it went through a lot of wood. And I decided I'm going to upgrade that stove. I don't know, it was a little over a year ago, I think now, probably 2 years now. So I took that stove that I had originally put in there and put it in my shop, because that's where I need quick heat anyway. And if you've seen any of my other videos, that stove that's in there used to be in the house. Anyway, I decided to upgrade the stove in here, and it's way more efficient. I'm guessing it's, if I had to put a number on it, we're using a third less wood in that wood box in there. It's very high. It's very efficient, and I can control the burn, meaning it's just not blaring all the time. I can turn it down, choke it down at night, and it really holds a fire really well in there. But anyway, the mistake I made, and here's a mistake I made. So we pull that other stove out of here, and I buy this other stove, and come to find out that it's a shorter box, and anything that's too long won't fit in there. So hence why I have my chop saw on the front porch here, because now I get to cut the stuff down that's too long, and so it'll fit in that box in there, which that was a big mistake, but it is what it is. I can't turn back now, and I don't know how much of a percentage of the wood that I've got in that woodshed over there. There's 10 cords in there easy. Some of it's long, and but some of it's short enough for it'll work. But most of it, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of it I have to cut back. And so that's why this chop saw is here, and I chop it down. That much too long. So yeah, that's a mistake I made that I don't think I'll ever make again. The stove that's in the kitchen is the same stove that we had in the living room, but we hardly ever burn in there, so I don't think I'm going to replace it. There are some really cool modern day wood burning cook stoves that you can cook on. We used to have an antique one from the 1800s that was in there that I didn't trust anymore, and I yarded out of there and we got rid of it because I just didn't trust it. But there are some really neat modern ones I'd love to put in there, but I don't know, it doesn't seem. I guess the benefit would be, if the power ever goes out, which it does quite often up here, we don't have a stove because I don't have my generator hooked up to the stove. It's hooked up on most everything else but the stove. We would have a stove then we could cook in if we had to, depending on how long the power's out. Sometimes it could be out for a week, which that can be an attention getter. So yeah, this is what I have to do sometimes so I can get the wood into the firebox. I get to make a mess. So that's my story. I'm going to do the rest of this, get it into the house, clean up my mess, which I make a mess every time I do this. Anyway, sign off again. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.